If you have no idea about what I was just talking about, and if you're just going about your day and you're like, what Plex again and what extractor sale is he talking about? So, let me catch you up on what has been going on. We're gonna do that in game, so I'm gonna switch over here. And basically, if we just look at the game, let's look at the game interface, right? And you go into the New Eden store, right? This is the strategy that that CCP has been running. Dinoso73, thank you for that sub, man. You guys are awesome. Thanks for giving me such a nice welcome tonight. What CCP has been doing a lot lately, so you know, once every few months, is running massive sales in the New Eden store, the NES, the one that you access from within the game. That's what we're looking at here. And you know, they've done 50% off skill extractors. They've run, you know, 2 for 1, etc. This is I can buy 100 more. That's right. Fully, I could. I already converted a lot of this. So what you can do here is you can now buy, for example, 100 skill extractors for 5,600 Plex. Watcher B, thank you for the Prime sub, man. Appreciate it. You guys. All-time record shattered. Yeah, just on a Saturday. Thank you guys. This is massive because in order to take advantage of this, people need Plex. Okay? So what this means is that immediately when this sale comes out, there's a huge discrepancy in pricing because immediately yesterday for the same amount of Plex, you got half the skill extractors. Up until, you know, a few days ago, skill extractors were worth over 500 million ISK each, right? Immediately when that gets halved and Plex price stays the same, this crashes the skill extractor price by 30 to 50% immediately, right? It has to. And that's what it did. That's what it did in January. That's what it did in May. And this time even more extreme. You can see the volume and the price drop, which was higher than in the last sales. And the last sales were already massive. So this is absolutely insane, right? So what this means is that immediately what people started to do, and I prepared a spreadsheet so that it's easier for you to follow. All right, we can go here. So to dumb it down, right, or to make it more illustrative, right? The Plex price right now is between 5.3 and 5.4 million, right? That's 25% already or so, or 20% higher than it was yesterday. Yesterday we had 4 point something Plex prices, right? The skill extractor price is 325 to 339 buy to sell, yeah? That is down from 518 million or so, 48 hours ago. So this is the best current deal that you can make, that you can take advantage of in the NES. That's 100 skill extractors for 5,600 Plex. Right now, that's exactly 300 million if you use buy orders to buy Plex. Okay? So even right now, selling it here and buying it here and buying it with Plex right now gives you a 7% discount. Okay? So even right now, you know, subtracting 5% broker fees, whatever it is, sales tax, etc. Even right now, you can still make a small win out of that, that margin. Yeah, I didn't include any sales tax or broker fee, Poliet. So this is just an oversimplification, right? This is not what matters. Okay, what matters is that for the last 24 hours, this margin has been huge. Okay, this margin has been huge. People have been flipping hundreds and thousands of skill extractors, making hundreds of billions of ISKs. And if you didn't follow this, you can go check the general discussion that we're having on our Discord. Here, I'll link it right here. By the way, 20 seconds on the raffle. If you want to be in the raffle, !raffle, make sure you enter. you get a 3-day Omega code if you win. 10 seconds. So right now it's 7%, but for the last 48 hours it was 20 to 30%. So people were flipping the skill extractors with Plex, but they kept on buying Plex and dumping it to buy orders because everybody wanted to buy skill extractors cheap, me included. Yeah, I bought a contract of 1,000 skill extractors for 335 million. Yeah, that's that was amazing for me because I know that skill extractor prices are going to go back up. But this was also amazing for the person that bought it because they were flipping. And at 335, you can see if they were buying Plex yesterday, the Plex price was even cheaper than this. So they were buying under 300 million skill extractors through Plex and then turning around and selling it to people like me for 335 million. Now that is winners all around, right? The losers are the ones that are going to pay 500 million next month. That is if the price actually recovers to that region. And there's this time, since the impact of the sale this time, the volume, the margin, just the general and excitement around it, people truly understanding how this works now, because this is Plexigetta number 5 or Plexigetta number 6. Now people are, industrializing, taking advantage of this, it's probably not the best for the EVE player economy, because this is a prime example of people with a ton of ISK being able to make a ton of ISK more. Because this is essentially a sale that is not the sale, but this is an investment move that you can only do if you have 500 billion cash lying around. You can do it at smaller smaller volumes, but this really just starts to begin to make sense when you're playing this game with hundreds of billions of ISKs. You think the market will only take a month to recover? Well, look, all I can go off is what happened the last few Plexigeddon sales, right? You can see that the last Plexigeddon sale or the one in January recovered really, really quickly, as did the one in April. Now, this one was smaller than this one. This one is smaller than this one, obviously. Yeah, and this is only the official trades through the auction house, right? The contract-based sales trades in this case are much higher than the official ones, because it only takes a few minutes to hours for the big players to identify each other and sell and sell each other the big the big contracts and the big amounts of skill extractors. So this is a lot of volume, and I think the recovery this time is going to be much slower, right? I think it might take 2 or 3 months, and who knows? It might if CCP keeps it up and they do one of these sales every 3 months, then it might never hit 500 million again, right? It might just be that the new base price is 400 or 450. Either way, I feel pretty good about buying at 300 to 335 because I think there's a zero chance that the price will stay there. Just because not too many people, have the ISK lying around to take advantage of this. Even skill farmers often are not cash rich, and they can't take a loan out on a whim of 500 billion to invest in their skill farm. So what is going to happen is this is going to be the investors holding a ton of skill extractors and the skill farmers over time paying a premium to investors for these skill extractors. But overall, more or less everyone wins, because I'm going to show you the skill farming formula in a second here, and you'll see that skill farming just became hella profitable, right? This one is a couple orders of magnitude greater, though, right, as this was with Plex and not with US dollars. Yeah, they've been switching back and forth. So there was one they did recently that it was also on the Plex store. I think the January one or maybe the November one, but yeah. Hi, Captain Kiwi Outlaw. Kuroda, yes, we do contract trades to avoid transaction tax. That's right. Like 500 bill is something the average player has laying around. No, I don't. Yeah, exactly. No. With these sales, there is no need to bother with complex production chains if you can simply invest all your ISK in Plex and double them or make 50% profit like it was a January extractor sale. Isn't bad for New Eden ecosystem. What do you think? This is terrible, Whitley. I think this is terrible for the ecosystem. But on the other hand, it all depends on what people do with the ISK that is made or that is siphoned out of the system through this, right? I think if it's in the hands of people like me, it's pretty terrible. Yeah, people that just watch their bank account go bigger. I think that's probably not useful. In my case, most of it is is Delta Fund money, so most of it goes back to my investors, and I don't know what they do with their cash, right? This is not a great incentive to find other ways of making money for those with a lot of money. That's what I would say. Mr. Dinosaur, terrible overall. Rich getting richer for no work. Skill farming is more profitable. Yeah, it's certainly not a good sign for the EVE economy. I would agree. So let's focus on that for a second, right? If we go over here for a second, you guys know that that skill farming. So the turning of Omega time into skill points, thus large skill injectors, what we typically call skill farming. It wasn't profitable last year very much. You could hope to break even, etc. Then CCP started these massive sales, and right now I updated this because right now it's very easy to Plex your account for 300 Plex, right? You can if you buy 300 Plex and you do a long-term subscription through Plex, then you can pay only 300 per month per account. Right? So, in this case, what you end up with is a massively positive profit margin, right? This is now 2 billion because if you're looking at the price of extractors, they have gone down. And the price of large skill injectors hasn't come down as much. So what does this mean? This means that we are going to see the price of large skill injectors drop by a lot. And we are already seeing that right now. So if you're looking at large skill injectors, you can see that the last sales did the same. It always recovered, but now we're seeing a pretty steep drop here as well. And that's typical if you make skill farming more profitable by making skill extractors cheaper and more available, then you are increasing the production of large skill injectors, thereby crashing the price of those. And that, on the other hand, isn't a bad thing. That's a good thing because one, it makes skill farming less profitable, and two, it helps people that want to reskill, which is typically a good thing for new players. And returning players. So, but that's debatable, but that's one way to look at it. Mr. Dinosaur, say this having spent all my money already on skill extractors too, by the way. Right. Double D Immo, in my opinion, people with anything over 100 billion should be supporting gameplay, sponsoring PvP, fight stories. ISK is worthless as long as it doesn't translate into stories. Yeah. I mean, point taken, for sure. Definitely helps people who have a few 100 billion laying around. I bought 450 extractors this time around. Yeah, man. From the same supplier I did. Yeah, so somebody posted on our Discord, and I know that they're at least not completely full of shit because I was involved in some of the transactions, that they made 600 billion ISK in the past 24 hours. And that is insane. That's, and that's very debatable whether that's probably in no scenario is that good for the game. Anyway, we had the raffle end, right? So Azalea, I don't know, whatever. I hope you saw your name go through. I'm gonna post this in there just because I cannot. I posted this name in chat. And so, congrats. Make sure you ping me on Discord or on Twitch, and I'll send you a 3-day Omega code. And I'm going to restart this raffle right now so you all get another chance to win. So let's see. Some more questions. Skill extracting allows me to be a cheaper producer for lots of groups, undercutting the market a lot. Lots of stuff happens in direct contracts that flying under the radar. Skill extracting allows you to be a cheaper producer? That doesn't make sense to me, but I'm sure you can explain that. How did they make 600 billion? They made 600 billion by arbitrage, by what I explained right here. So even right now, it's much cheaper to buy skill extractors via Plex. You can buy, if you just buy Plex and use the Plex to buy the 2-for-1 NES deal for 100 skill extractors, you're paying 300 million per skill extractor. You can turn around and sell it for 339 and you can make a profit. Yesterday, when Plex was 4-point-something million, this margin was 20% and they flipped like 3,000 skill extractors or something like that. And so they made 600 billion. I was part of that because I bought 1,000 extractors from them for 335 billion. So, yeah. This is pretty amazing, terrible depending on your viewpoint. It's not orders, Eden Trade. Like, he sold 1,000 at a time to me via contract. This is all backroom dealings. Or as I used to say, backdoor dealings. Double D, if I like a war, I don't need to make a profit. Skill extracting does lower my overall production price so people can get their stuff cheaply. Oh god, are you a meme-af, dude? Double D! No, not you too, man. Oh! You produce just because it's fun. Because you make things cheaper. Dude, that's all good. We're not the same. We're not the same, dude. But yeah. So I think most of those deals came through contracts. Most of them came through contracts because the 3-point-something% sales tax is just too heavy on to deal on the markets, right? But yeah, so huge story, huge sale. This is pretty crazy. We'll follow along. We'll see what we'll see what happens to the prices. Right now, I would expect Plex price has probably peaked now. It's probably slowly going to come back down at the latest on Tuesday when the sale ends, and then skill extractor prices should be rising again. But I mean, right now, you can still, it still makes a lot of sense to buy skill extractors, right? I mean, this is This is very, very cheap. These are very 318. You know, those are like way too cheap. That was also probably a fat finger because this is like a 318. That was good. Yeah. All right. So that's Plexageddon. I think for that, was there any other impact we need to talk about? Well, maybe the impact on CCP. So why is this great for CCP, right? This is fantastic for CCP because what did all of us large Plex holders do 24 hours ago? We immediately converted Plex to skill extractors because it was so profitable, right? You had to do it. You had to do it at that time. You could have held on and now sold Plex now that it's a million more, and you know there's a lot of ways around it, but you know a lot of people converted Plex yesterday to skill extractors, and they still are. Plex, as we've discussed many times, Plex for CCP is unused. It's unrealized revenue for them. It's on their books. It's deferred revenue. They can't make it count. As soon as you buy skill extractors with it, that's a one-way street. You cannot turn that. You cannot turn that around, really. So I guess you could. I guess you could, but skill extractors we're assuming is something that they're going to be able to realize at that point as a revenue, and so for this presumably moves a lot of deferred revenue to the revenue column for them. This type of sale. So that's it's good all around. Like the gold rush with the ISK for Plex, tycoons laughing all the way to the bank and CCP getting Plex off their books. Yep. The selling of Plex also creates new demand as investors rebuild stocks so CCP can generate more Plex sales. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, high Plex price is one good thing about it for CCP is that buying Plex for people investing real money becomes more attractive. So, yeah. All right. Welcome to all the followers. Lots of followers today. Good to see new people joining our community. So all of this is just if you want to be in these discussions that I was mentioning about early strategies and still skill extractors, I just posted the link to our Discord. You need to be on there. If you're a serious investor and you want to talk about these things, you should be on our Discord. You might not believe me, but you can ask anyone and check on our Discord. I am extremely open with the transactions that I do and the strategies that I employ. So I immediately call out when I do something. I don't secretly buy 1,000 skill extractors. I immediately post in the Discord and I say I am buying 1,000 skill extractors now. That doesn't mean everybody has to do it. But I think it's fair that to at least share that with our community, because I'm not in this as much to make ISK as I am to further trading as a playstyle in EVE Online, and so I believe me or not, I get more happy when people post that they're making money rather than I am making money. Okay. That's